Folks, you survived a weekend without professional football. We get into it with the Sabres having 3 games in the next 4 days, but we're also linking up with Michelle GIRARDI ZUMWALT, the director of Dominik, Hasek, Always a Goalie. We'll learn a little bit more about what went into that. You can check it out as well on YouTube. Life is a movie for us as we get ready for the Super Bowl, and we are hoping for a dangerously scary ending for Drake May. We'll get into all of that and more. Let's go.
Somewhere you can leave all your worries on the shelf, and whether you win or lose, you can count on me, and I can count on you. You know the train never stops. This train never stops. You know the train never stops. This train never stops.
Folks, welcome on in. Where would you rather be than right here, right now? Trainwreck today, 64, brought to you by Herd of Buffalo and Trainwreck Sports. Slick L has something going on, so he is home and remote on the studio. Don is here on the ones and twos, and producer Brett is in the saddle as we're making it happen. So thank you very much, whether you're in the cubicle, whether you're in the car, whether you're just hanging out at home, for inviting us in today. Don, it is officially Super Bowl week.
Yeah, Super Bowl week. Pretty stoked. at least to hope for the outcome I think all of us Buffalonians want. And, get one last game of football before all eyes, turn to hockey and March Madness and everything else we got going on the horizon. How you feeling, Slick?
Could be better. Allergy pills weren't able to save me yesterday. Came down with something or other here on this lovely Monday morning. But yeah, Super Bowl week. Excited for a huge Bad Bunny concert on live TV. Other than that, let's go Seahawks.
Now, Slick, there's been some accusations in the office that I might have infected you. Yeah. Are you in that boat?
I was catching on like a couple days ago that I might be coming down with something, and it did kind of directly come off the heels of your short-lived fever. So could be. I'm not going to shift the blame directly onto the dream boat itself, but it's that time of year. Anyone can get sick at any time. So.
Yeah. Seriously.
How are you feeling? Let's check in with you.
I'm a little stuffed. I definitely got some allergies. Listen, I have the dander allergies as far as the kittens go. So it was an amazing kitten bowl at Buffalo River Works. Obviously, Salino. We had Clyde's Feed. We had 10 Lives Cup making it happen. City Cats come out on top. So that was very exciting to see. We had a great weekend of action, obviously. But again, as it's here to Super Bowl week, I'm feeling a little stuffed. I can tell you that. I don't know what's going on. I tried 2 allergy pills. I'm trying to figure out a way to get over it.
Those allergy pills were being popped like candy last night.
Yes, it is lingering very much. But again, there is no time for lingering. It is time for full steam ahead here in Super Bowl week. So let's get into the Power of 4, sponsored by William Matar Law Offices. So we started cooking early this week. We were talking about the Power of 4. We're going to be getting, 80 hours of coverage between now and the game of the Super Bowl, breaking down the angles, breaking down everything that happened, breaking down the Bad Bunny of it all if you're Slick. But with that said, what will be the 4 leading storylines, or what are the 4 leading storylines for each of us going into the Super Bowl? I can start with my 4. Number 1, can Sam Darnold get it done against this staunch Patriots defense? Obviously, this is the same Patriots defense that I believe it was now 7 years ago made Sam Darnold see ghosts. It was a nightmare performance for him as a Jets quarterback. Obviously, Sam Darnold has undergone an odyssey since then in his NFL career. But can Sam Darnold get it done against that defense? Number 2, can that defense continue to carry Drake May as he does nothing? As he continues to be an absolute nothing factor, a non-factor, a nothing burger in this Patriots playoff run? Can Drake May be put on a pedestal and taken to the podium for a Lombardi trophy? Number 3, can this be a good game? I don't know. I'm nervous with the Seahawks. The Seahawks aren't exactly the sexiest team with Sam Darnold at QB. You have the Patriots. They're going to be trying to make it a phone booth fight, fighting in a locker with that defense. So I'm nervous. Can this actually be a good game? And number 4, I am going to steal this from Slick. Bad Bunny. We started talking about Bad Bunny right when it happened. We didn't even know what the teams were involved. Bad Bunny is a big storyline. Those are my 4 Power of 4 storylines, boys.
You hit pretty much all of them. I think the one I think we should also address too is this Patriots offense. Well, you kind of did, I guess, with the defense carrying Drake May. Will these turnovers continue? Is he able to hang on to the ball? This Patriots offense looked less than stellar pretty much every playoff game. Only 28 points even against the Texans, and that's with the 3 turnovers as well in that game. I don't know. I think the Seahawks might be the one that make them look sloppy where it finally comes to bite them in the bum, because their defense is just as good, if not better, than the Patriots D, I think. So we'll see. If New England can limit their turnovers. It's been a common theme all playoffs for them, though, Don.
Yeah, so I got a pretty similar 4, but a little more specific. 1, can Denver's defense make Drake May, who has fumbled the ball a lot in this postseason, put the ball on the ground a couple times? Remember, he had 4 against the Texans, and the Texans and Denver's D-line are strikingly similar, both in the way they play and the stats overall this year. So that's one big factor. Can the D-line get to him? Number 2, Darnold continuing this hot streak, staying hot, proving the haters wrong. I mean, who would have 3-4 years ago you said Sam Darnold's playing in the Super Bowl and they're the favorite, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
4 or 5 point favorite.
Yeah, so
I'd be favorite.
yeah, so I mean, who would have thunk? But here he is. So yeah, can Darnold show up? 3, can also about Denver, can the run game work for them to alleviate some pressure? That's something that we see in every Super Bowl is teams kind of, other than once in a while we see a trick play, but a lot of more conservative stuff going on. So I think for that. And my 4th one, this is the biggest factor. /storyline is the amount of companies copying our guys at Polymarket.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you've seen this. If you go on X right now, there's a big banner that says trade the big game, 0 commissions promoted by Webull. There's an ad and it looks exactly the same as Polymarket. Robinhood announced yesterday they're allowing prediction markets. Guys, it's a copycat league, and they're rebranding betting on sports as trading in markets. It's a pretty interesting thing.
It is an interesting terraform that we have going on beneath our feet for sure. And there's an interesting week ahead with no shortage of storylines. This has been our Power of 4 for your Super Bowl storylines, brought to you by William Mattar Law Offices.
All right. Yeah.
All righty. That was exactly how that was supposed to go. Speaking of which, the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. How did that go, Slick, this weekend? Pretty crazy event.
Kind of exactly how we thought it would as well. I did enjoy both matches thoroughly. I don't know about you. I've seen some discourse online, though, that agrees with me. I think I enjoyed the women's match substantially more than the men's. You had your typical nonsense from Paul Levesque saying there was going to be a lot of surprises in store, which is why a lot of wrestling fans do come back around to watching wrestling like events for the Royal Rumble, because all of the surprises, the event should be very unpredictable. You never know who's going to show up. That doesn't really seem to be the case as of late. You had Roman Reigns winning on the men's side, I think from a 21 spot or around there, and Liv Morgan on the women's, first ever woman to win from the 14 spot. So I'm curious your thoughts. I still stand by I enjoyed the women's a little more, and that was largely due to a lot of these young NXT women showing out, Maniac.
Yeah, you saw the depth of the women's division for sure. It was on full display as they barely needed any legends, if any. I think maybe Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, Brie Bella coming back as kind of a legend. Nikki Bella now kind of back to full time, but not exactly an extensive list of funny entrants. On the other side, you had Iguana Man, and you had all kinds of kind of hijinks on the men's side. You had multiple El Grande Americanos. But Slick, this sounds crazy to say in a weekend, with multiple Royal Rumble matches, but I feel like the AJ Styles career ender is kind of stealing a lot of the attention here. I saw just as much attention on that as I did for either of the winners.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like every single comment on AEW's Instagram posts right now are an AJ Styles gif, because the rumors are swirling, Maniac, because I'm pretty sure he said he didn't write off the fact that he could be in a wrestling ring in some capacity again in the near future. So how that gets the IWC buzzing right away. Do you think there's a chance he will show up on TBS or TNT?
I think there's very much a chance, just because of what you said, the process of it, not being like this will be the last time I'm ever in a ring. It was more like my WWE career is over, something like that. And I think it speaks to the nature of the business. There was a clip a couple weeks ago of AJ Styles signing belts at an event, I believe it was, and he was handed the AEW belt.
He handed the AEW belt. He's like, Matt and Nick, I love you, but I can't sign this one.
Yeah, no, because he's a good company man. And I think with that on the other side, like, I mean, the WWE has gotten, essentially a great decade out of AJ Styles, a tremendous decade where he made SmackDown the house that AJ Styles built. He captained Survivor Series teams. He was WWE champion. He basically did it all. And I think they treated him with respect in the way that this exit went. I would not be surprised to see him showing up on AEW in short order. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on AEW by March Madness, 6 weeks.
I could see it too. I think this is a very similar situation to Adam Cole. There's just too many connections in that locker room for AJ to not want to have a run, as well as dream matches that can be had before your career is ultimately over. Also, on that note with the video, I feel like if he wasn't on the way out the door and maybe going to AEW, he would have just signed that. Like, the fact that he even did that, like, interaction with that fan, indicates to me a little more that there's a better chance than not.
Yeah, he's open to it. He's talking about it. He's just a pure professional. That's exactly what AJ Styles did from the moment he's been in a wrestling ring as a professional to even his entire time in the WWE sphere. Don, don't mean to leave you out on an island here. I know, obviously, your girl Liv took down the Royal Rumble. I know you were gigging kind of while it was going on. What were your thoughts from that Fallout, the highlights?
No, yeah. I mean, I'm just enjoying listening to the recap from you guys because, like I said, didn't get to see it. I did once I got to the gig because there's some troubles with the live stream. We got it sorted out, but I was popping in to make sure everything was looking good. You guys look great. I haven't seen too much. I watched a couple of Liv's highlights and I was stoked about that. Haley was not. She's a hater, but the household is split on Liv Morgan. Unfortunately, she's more of a Rhea Ripley girl.
Yep, understood.
Yeah.
It's either one or the other usually.
Yeah. So there was that, and then I just liked watching the doers chat where it seemed like people were not stoked throughout the Trainwreck sphere.
Mir wasn't happy for sure, but Slick, I mean, I don't mean to sound silly. You can see the writing on the wall for Roman Reigns a mile away.
Yeah, 100%. There was moments. Don't get me wrong. I think there was moments where the men's side did a good job at maybe blurring the exact outcome that you thought was going to happen at some points. There was moments where I thought Cody Rhodes could be going on to win his third Royal Rumble. But yeah, Roman Reigns, to get back into this spot, this is what he needed. I still do think somehow, which is kind of the last thing under our wrestling banner here, that we will see a Roman Cody trilogy at this WrestleMania. How we get there, I do not know, because McIntyre currently holds that championship as he defeated Sami Zayn in kind of short order on Saturday. So I guess I'll hook the question over to you. Do you think McIntyre will be holding that belt at WrestleMania? And if not, who will?
I think so. I think it's going to ultimately be maybe Cody shoehorns himself in as a triple threat, and maybe this is the way they get McIntyre over big time. Because let's face it, he won the cage match in kind of a slimy way with the Fatu interference. He didn't really get a surefire win over Cody. I feel like if he gets a win over Cody and Roman at WrestleMania, it would definitely blur the lines because each of them would then have one win and they would be, lost to Drew in that one. But I feel like that would be the ultimate way to get Drew McIntyre over as your number one champion. I mean, and let's face it, he's kind of the first time that you've had a full-timer. Like the thing that always gets said about Brock Lesnar is he kind of transcends the heel face because he typically does heel things, but everyone thinks he's cool and loves what he's doing and cheers him on. That's kind of what Drew McIntyre does.
Yeah, for sure. I think the triple threat proposition you have would be awesome. That would truly be Drew's WrestleMania moment. Obviously, we know he's been cheated out of the title moment in the past with the pandemic era. Like you said, this cage match ending was kind of slimy and ridiculous. So I could totally see him going over either of those guys at WrestleMania. Would be a huge moment for him. And I think it's perfect if you blur the lines in the situation you created with Cody and Roman, because then you leave the actual trilogy open-ended and you don't have to do it anytime soon. You could circle back to that whenever you want. Even like 4 or 5 years down the line if both guys are still in the company. So I love the idea. We'll see what happens. Real creative Triple H. Real good.
I agree. So it'll be interesting to see the fallout Netflix today. It'll be interesting to see the fallout in AEW when AJ Styles arrives. But needless to say, we are on the road to WrestleMania. So very interesting to see there. The NFL road never stops. So we had some news Friday. This was some scuttlebutt. I believe it's going to come to fruition. But the NFL salary cap going up and going up even more than anyone expected. Did anyone know what the salary cap was this year?
No, let me get that number.
I got it, $279.5 million. Do you know what the new projection is for next year?
No, give it to me.
$301 to $305 million. Going up 20 to 25 million. This is going to definitely give some teams an amazing sense of cap space. I think there are some teams that'll be working with over 50 million or close to 100 million in cap space at this point. The Bills, on the other hand, will get some nice pressure alleviated from the situation they're in. So with the restructuring that they probably plan to do, we'll be able to create, I think someone said like 30 to 45 million in space there, and would allow them to do some things. Now, does that allow them to potentially pursue a Justin Jefferson?
JJ? Yeah.
An AJ Brown? The time will tell. But I think that if Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown are going to do that, they're going to have to like take something like a little bit less of a deal, or they're going to have to structure the deal some way to make it something for the team. It's not going to be able to just get them at like a pure premium.
Yeah. I don't know. We've seen Bean work his magic before, where he, moves some things over here, puts it off till next year, decides to, offer a guy a bonus, which like doesn't count towards it, right?
Yeah.
They're
like a restructure into a bonus, then it gets
Yeah, so we've seen it happen before, and with the youthful energy Joe Brady's bringing, and the vibes, and wearing a gold chain, South Beach style, some younger guys, like JJ might be interested.
There was a clip where
there was a clip.
JJ was speaking quite, positively. The wheels started to go for me. How much could Joe Brady's interview have been like, you promote me, we got a good shot at getting Justin Jefferson in here this offseason? Like something like that. I've worked with JJ, things like that. I mean, it sounds crazy. Justin Jefferson's what, like a 27-year-old guy now? Like 26, 27? But Joe Brady's 36, right?
Justin Jefferson is 26.
All right. So again, again, these are almost peers as much as it is like, your traditional coach relationship. You're thinking of Don Shula and like Dan Marino.
And the LSU.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course. The LSU connection is everything there for sure. So, Justin Jefferson knows that Joe Brady, A, is a workaholic, and B, obviously puts a great amount of value in the effort that they are putting forward. We are just a couple of minutes away from being joined by Michelle GIRARDI ZUMWALT, creator of Dominik Hasek, always the goalie, always a goalie. I'm bundling this so bad. I'm so mad. I have to pull this up.
Always a goalie.
Always the goalie.
See, always the goalie. Okay, so I got it, and I bungled it anyway. Thank you very much. With that said, the other NFL storyline, Bills-wise, from this weekend, Ray Davis, Sidney Sweeney. Are we serious here? 4 a.m. Slick?
Yeah, quite the timestamp on that tweet. That's one way of getting over your fear of heights and skydiving, is if she wants to, but just an absolutely absurd take to put on the internet, I think.
Absurd take to put out there, and absurd take to put out at 4 a.m. But as we were saying,
him and Puka.
Yeah, listen, there was a lot of attention to that tweet. A lot of eyes there. And speaking of a lot of eyes were on the Dominik Hasek special, which released last night. Let's bring in someone who had a large part in the production and creation of that and bringing it to life. Michelle GIRARDI ZUMWALT, welcome into Trainwreck today.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for joining us, Michelle. Happy Monday. Happy Super Bowl week.
Happy sunny day, too.
Serious.
Victory Monday, as far as I'm concerned.
We're all on the same page that like we all feel a little alien when the sun hits, right? Like, what is that thing that's like aiming at us?
It's burning my flesh. Yeah.
All right, but
we'll
speaking of bright lights, I would be remiss not to start. Obviously, Dominik Hasek, always the goalie, now available on the Buffalo Sabres channel. 95 plus minutes of greatness. If you are a Sabres fan, if you're a Hasek enthusiast, if you just want to know more about the culture and everything behind there. But Michelle, start for me on Friday night. That looked like a pretty awesome party that we were hosting for the premiere.
Yeah, it was very cool. And it's so funny because we were working on it basically right up until the end. So, you know, there's different versions. There's one on MSG, one for YouTube, one for the premiere. And, you know, we're just tweaking and tweaking as much as we can right up to the end so it could be the best product possible. So it was so cool to like, you're in this like flurry of work, especially the last couple of weeks, you know, all hours, and then go and like take a deep breath and kind of take it all in and see Dom there experiencing it for the first time was very fun.
And obviously, you don't become a supervising producer of content on multiple fronts and an Emmy winner, of course, without making sure that every T is crossed and I is dotted. So you get it done. Like you said, maybe a little bit of a buzzer beater finish there for the versions. So you get to see it with everyone. What's like the reaction? Like, do you like watching it with everyone at those events? I get a little neurotic even when I hear my voice on a podcast, but you're watching a big production that you put months and potentially years into here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I loved doing it. I don't get to do it too often where I'm like screening it with other people. So it's cool to do it when you can. Myself, I'm watching it thinking like, oh God, why didn't we do this? Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of this until now. Of course, you know, that, and is that spelled wrong? You know, I'm like criticizing every little thing about it. But it's cool to like see other people laughing and reacting and clapping and getting excited. So, and I was also like in the second last row and Dom was in the front, but he was like in my line of sight. So I just kept looking to see like how his head was moving and, you know, how he was reacting to it and stuff. So I mean, it was very cool.
Ultimate approval for sure. If you have the GOAT that's signing off on that, what was his reaction like? I think we all want to know, because obviously you said it was a flurry, a whirlwind putting this all together, which I can totally relate to. I feel like I only just heard of the movie and now it's been put out a couple weeks later. It feels like, what was Dom's reaction after seeing all this and the hard work you guys put in, telling his story?
Yeah, I think he was honestly a little overwhelmed because he was not really involved deeply in the process. I would reach out to him and say, hey, do I have your teacher's name spelled right? You know, that kind of stuff. But, you know, can I get a picture of this? But other than that, like we filmed 18 months ago with him. And that was the point where he was in his political campaign in the Czech Republic. So his head then was like totally spinning. And so he sat and watched it and had no idea what to expect. And so he was, I think, a little overwhelmed. He said he loved it. I caught up with him and Mitch Korn both after, who was his goaltender coach, his first ever real actual goaltender coach in life, but also in Buffalo. And Mitch said, you know, as you know, coaches and athletes, like it's kind of rare that you ever take the time to sit back and reflect on things. Like you're always just like, all right, next game, moving on. And so they said it was very cool for both of them to sit there and like look back at all that they had accomplished and all the things, you know, over the decades that had happened. So it was fun. And Dom, I think, really did appreciate it. I think, you know, at first he was just like, you know, his initial reaction that he said in the Q&A after the film was, you know, I don't really love, he's like, I love playing goal. I don't really love watching myself. So, and I think that's probably everybody's reaction, right? When you see yourself anyway.
I'm feeling like Dom Hasek and I are more relatable than we've ever been.
Basically the same person. I've always said that.
I don't know if Maniac's greatness bar is quite there yet, but like we're working on it.
I don't know. I never make Slick stay after practice.
Can you do a split? Let's see right now. This will be the determining factor. Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
I will say, I think
this is a family-friendly show. It's not.
I think being late to everything, you're on par with that.
Yeah,
I remember that part of him, Rob Ray saying he's always the last on the bus, and yeah, that was a funny bit.
That came up even more than made the film. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but like that came up a lot in the film. It must have come up like 3 dozen other times of people joking about him being late for everything. So.
Michelle, never apologize for cutting me off on Trainwreck today. You need to charge right through me because your talking point is much better. We're talking with Michelle GIRARDI ZUMWALT, director of Dominik Hasek, always the goalie. We'll get to Mitch Korn of it all in a second because he was an absolute scene stealer when he took over in the second half. I got to put that on the record. But I want to talk, speaking of team, real quick, let's put a little shine on you. And I know I've heard from other podcasts, you don't like the attention. Seemed like a small team from the picture at the premiere. I know there are a lot of people on the background producing this to make this happen. When you have a core group like that working on a project like this, I'm curious your input. Does that make it a little bit, I'm sure there's challenges because there's a lot of holes and gaps to be filled, but does it make it a little easier when you have a vision and a message, or like a story that you're trying to tell working with that smaller group?
I don't know if it makes it easier, but it's definitely more special when you get to the finish line and you think like, look at all that we accomplished with just us. So yeah, we sent 3 people over to Czech Republic 18 months ago. We spent about 8-ish hours with Dom and Frank Musel, who was his childhood best friend, is currently a Sabres Sabres scout. Sorry, I haven't slept much lately, guys. Sabres scout, and also played 15 years in the NHL. And then met Dom's teachers and parents and such. So that was a 3-person group spending about 7-8 hours. And then we interviewed Dom for like an hour the next day. And so, it was a huge challenge, and like getting all our gear over there across borders and such. And we had to travel light. We're not traveling with audio engineers and like the full equipment that, a 30 for 30 or like a Netflix sports doc is traveling with. So, And then the last couple months, we've been experiencing the Sabres surge. Let's go Buffalo. The team's gotten a lot better. So we're doing a lot more content for the current team, but also just like totally dialed into this doc at the same time. So it's been challenging, but it's been cool to just, really like sink our teeth into it and see this come to fruition.
Michelle, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, content never stops. I'm sure you got your mind like 30 to 90 days out for how we can bring the best product to these blue and gold fans for certain, just like we did with this. Again, Dominik Hasek, always the goalie, now on Buffalo Sabres, YouTube, and more. Make sure you check it out. As we get into the second half, again, I don't want to spoil too much. There were about 3 acts, right? You have Dom Hasek's foundation, you have the transfer and the culture of it all coming to the NHL, and then you have the ascension to a global superstar, obviously. And a large part of that was Mitch Korn. Between the sound bites, my first question for you, was this your first time working with him, or were you as amazed as I was watching this production?
This was my first time working with him. And honestly, I didn't even get to do the interview. We did that interview literally a year ago, maybe today. We had a road trip in Nashville. And so I wasn't on the trip. So the videographer was down there to cover the game. And Jordan LaBarber, our cool team beat reporter, I sent him with questions and was like, get me Mitch Korn. Sit him down, tackle him if you have to. I want to know what he knows about Dom. Predators PR was awesome to hook us up with him. But so he came back with that interview and I went through it and I was like handwriting the notes, and like everyone, I was like putting stars all over. And I'm like, oh my God, this has to go in there and this has to go in there. And like the editor wouldn't include a Mitch Korn bite. I'm like, I really think we need another Mitch Korn here. Let's squeeze this one in. He's just a soundbite machine. The gravelly tone of his voice, unbelievable. And then he came to the premiere, which was so cool. So he flew up from Nashville just to come to the premiere. It was a celebrity sighting for me. I was more excited to see him than Dom because I've met Dom before. So he's just unbelievable. Like, and as far as perspective on Dominik Hasek, I can't imagine anyone better.
I love that. Well, geez, I mean, again, there's a lot to love here. Again, 95 minutes of awesome material. Whether you love Dominik Hasek highlights, whether you love just learning a little bit more behind that story, there's everything you need. And that's what I got for our next question. Excuse me there, Michelle. Because, there might be some diehards. Let's face it, Buffalo fans are only one way, and that's diehard, who are hyper familiar with like the Hasek story and everything. So besides the amazing highlights, what's one thing you hope they and anyone who takes this project and takes away from this film?
Yeah, I mean, the first half of it, like you said, is really about his hometown. And so I just think if you probably know a lot about, the crazy highlights, the RJ calls, maybe some of the drama, obviously no goal, but to go back and spend time with him and see how much it meant to him, his hometown, his family, the fact that he grew up under communism but loved his childhood was something I thought was pretty revelatory. And I think when you see what he was like as a kid, hear other people reflecting on it and see all the photos, you think about the way he played goal was basically like a little kid who just wanted to stop the puck at all costs and is throwing his body all over the place. And nobody ever told him not to. Nobody ever coached him out of that. So he came here as a full-grown 25-year-old man, like, this is what I do. This is what works for me, and just kind of went with it. And there's nobody else who's ever played the position like him.
Seriously.
Sorry, go ahead, Maniac.
No, you suck.
I was just going to say, you mentioned growing up. I thought that was so interesting, the beginning of the film, that growing up in the communist regime and how he got to where he is today. So you obviously traveled out to the Czech Republic, Pardubice? Is that, am I pronouncing that right? Pardubice.
More like paradise as far as I'm concerned.
Seriously, it looks beautiful. What was your favorite part of the trip outside of film production? What do people maybe not know about the city that didn't make it to the film because it might not have been entirely part of Dom's story?
Yeah, I mean, as far as Pardubice, we were literally there like 7-8 hours and then realized we hadn't eaten all day and like hit the Pardubice McDonald's on the way out of town. And we're like, I haven't had water.
That's that fine Czech Republic cuisine right there.
Yeah. Got some mozzarella sticks, which is a food I'm passionate about in all continents. So So
Likewise.
yeah. So I mean, the town was so cool. I wish we could have spent more time actually exploring it. We were like bang bang. Like Dom. One thing that didn't make it was Dom took us to one of his old homes. We didn't get to go inside, but he was walking around outside of it and showing us like, so this is where I would be kicking the ball, and he had this like big door, almost looked like a castle, and he had a huge key that he had to carry around his neck because he lost the key once. So he's running down the street because he's always late. This massive like skeleton key, like hitting him in the face. And so I just thought that was like such a cute story. But what I loved was seeing him and Frank on the soccer field outside their old school. And like I said, Frank is someone that he grew up with, and just reflecting on their days of playing soccer and getting bloody knees and pushing each other, and how Dom would skip lunch so he could play, the whole full 50 minutes of soccer. And I just think like watching people reminisce, 60-year-old men reminiscing about their childhood is just so fun. And the fact that his teachers meant so much to him, I think when we went there, I was thinking like, yeah, I want to meet your old teammates and coaches. And he was like, my teachers. And I'm like, I guess, yeah, sure. Cool. Like I had no idea what to expect, but to see like the influence that they had on him explains a little bit of why he did not want to leave the Czech Republic right away when he was drafted, or Czechoslovakia at the time, why he chose not to defect. That like, the relationships he had formed with the people there meant so much to him. And the idea of maybe never seeing them again, he just couldn't handle. So I just thought the whole backstory was so cool, and it was so fun to see, him be so excited to show us everything.
Folks, make sure you're checking out the backstory and more. Dominik Hasek, always the goalie, available on Buffalo Sabres YouTube. Thanks to Michelle and her amazing team. Real quick, before we get off the Hasek of it all, I got to pitch you an idea. We need a Sabres game watch along with Dominik Hasek hosting, because this guy, I feel like he's just a walking meme factory, low key.
He's amazing. Isn't he fun? My daughter was watching last night for the first time, and she goes, he seems so sweet. Like she's 13. She was like, is he this nice? He seems so fun. Like she was like loving him. He says he'll probably be back in town next fall. So, maybe we can bring him out after we win the Stanley Cup, and
for the banner race.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I did have my question. Is Dominik Hasek as methodically wholesome as he seems? Because I've had like 3 casual meetings with him, between like just the nice demeanor, the double thumbs up I always see. It just feels like this is an organic, genuine, happy guy at the end of the day.
He's a character. And like, obviously, there's stories about him when he played. I never met him in the 90s. I have no idea what he was like then. But now, the man he is now is quirky. He's funny. He's all over the place. He's exactly the way that he comes across on screen. Even like, this is where the door is. This is always where the door is. And he goes to open the door and it's closed. And you're like, did he do that on purpose? Like, is this a bit? Is Dom doing a bit right now? Like, he's just hilarious.
It doesn't matter whether he's skating out to the blue line to take out, a potential breakaway, or going towards the door. He's doing it with all the confidence in the world.
Exactly.
Well, we know we have a lot of confidence in you and your team, Michelle. Obviously, like you said, it's been an awesome, like these last 25 games, the best in Sabres history. Looking forward to this stretch end of the season. I know we can't get into the team itself, but you got your content team. So I want to finish with one last question here. As the intensity ramps up this season, can we expect the content team to match and surpass that as we go?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Okay.
And now that this is cleared off the decks, like we're
empty docket. We got all kinds of hours.
Yeah.
Time to focus on playoffs.
I'm not going to lie. Scott Balzer, the editor. The editor of this doc and I, we're going to take a week, during the Olympic break and recharge a little bit, but then we're going all the way to the end of June, baby. We're ready. We're ready for this. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I just, the idea of potentially having a playoff video and any playoff content is just thrilling. We got to do it with the Bills when they broke the drought a couple years ago. We were all part of that team too. So now the idea of doing it for the Sabres, just too good to be true.
Super huge shout out to first-time guest Michelle GIRARDI ZUMWALT on joining up with us, making it all happen. Sabres, Bandits content. She's making it happen. Huge shout out to you and your team. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a great day now, Michelle.
Yeah, and shout out Scott Balzer, Andy Quinn, the two. If I don't know if I said their names, but those are my guys on the production team.
True leader. That's a true leader. Shout out the team right there.
Yeah.
And also shout out the teachers. If Dominik Hasek shout out his teachers, let's shout out the teachers here.
I had teachers not to keep this going and told me that they cried after watching it because of the scene where he talks about how much the teachers meant to him. And I thought I was like, wow, I thought it was cool, but like to hear them actually react that way, that's special.
Seriously, teachers make it happen. Thank you for making it happen, Michelle. Like we said, go get that rest. Go get ready for a long stretch of the season and go have a good day now. Thank you for joining us.
Go do your homework, kids. Take care, guys.
Have a good one. Folks, remember, you can check out Dominik Hasek, always the goalie. Basically, Sabres YouTube, and it sounds like there's a couple other platforms they'll be opening up there as well. Don, obviously, I don't mean to take the wind out of our sails. We did get the wind taken out of our sails a little bit on Saturday night when we blew that third period lead against the Canadiens. A rare misstep for the Sabres team over the last 2 months.
Yeah. Not a great game. I mean, it was back and forth. Canadians are a tough team, and we've had their
Great
number
team.
up until now, so it's hard to be, too angry about it. Honestly, the thing that I think was most annoying, and Darlene hit the nail on the head, I was texting my season ticket holder mate about it, is the amount of Sabres fans selling out when the team's hot. Can't have this. Kansas City, Buffalo, you need to lock in. We're gearing up for a Buffalo run, and it looked like half the arena was red. And now we went to the 05-06 game. There was a presence, but it wasn't nearly as bad as that. I was listening on the radio driving back from my gig to the first period, and I heard the Canadians score the first goal, and it sounded like a home game. Like there
was a legit pop. I mean, that end of the arena where they scored their first goal, I think I saw the whole end of the arena celebrated. I hate to say it. I have a hard time faulting Sabres at this point. These could have been tickets that were sold 2 months ago, and I hate to say it, but 2 months ago we were 8 games below 500 and projecting to be in the cellar. And season ticket holders, listen, I want fans to defend our arena. I want them to be ready to support this team when they're good, and they finally are good again, and they need our support. We need to be in there every day. But season ticket holders, and you must think the same way. Like, if someone had season ticket holders or season tickets for 10 years, could you fault them for trying to get back a little bit on what could be potentially another lost season when you're about 7 to 8 games below 500 there at the end of November?
Also, how many season ticket holders do we think are in that arena?
Here's the thing. I don't think the people that are selling them are like diehard people. It's people that have been doing this for like years, and that's it's. I don't think it's like, oh, we're bad, so I'm gonna sell my tickets to Canadians fans. The thought is really more, I'm gonna try to pay for a percentage of these tickets by selling the Leafs and selling them the Canadians games. I have nothing good to say about it, so I don't really want to say anything.
There was a lot of discourse about this online, but I think you said it best, Don. Maniac. This has been happening this is nothing new. Canadians, Leafs, Sens, always a great showing. I get it. Like, now we're good. We're making a push for the playoffs for the first time potentially in 15 years. But let's not act like this wasn't happening the entire time. And I get it. Like, the 15 years, we probably didn't have much of an incentive for people to buy season tickets. So like I said, how many season ticket holders are in that arena? I'm not entirely blaming the season ticket holders, but yeah, it was a little disconcerting when you see that many.
Did you guys see the video clip of Darlene?
Yeah.
There was literally he did like a harumph. Then he did I'm going to think about what I'm going to say for the next couple seconds. Then he did I appreciate the fans that were in the building and the season ticket holders. And he goes I don't want to see as much red next time, right? That was basically the gist.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of like me a second ago, wanted to be a little harsher, but don't want to. That's why I'm saying that's why I brought it up, because I know you introduced the point clearly, but it's like Darlene literally wanted to say what the hell are you guys doing? Basically. Now I think that it's not as clear cut as it seems to him, but he has a point. Yeah, but it's good to see that players care. I mean, that was for years. It was like these guys don't care enough about winning or losing or any of these other things, and they do. Now I am going to start a tracker now of our record after the Tuck. We're going for the Cup comments.
Oh, don't do it.
If things go sideways, it's really. I mean, hey, when he said it, I was hyped up. I'm still hyping it up. But
Slick just said the P word with a Sabres official. We just had a Sabres president in the building.
Yeah, knock on wood right after.
The Trainwreck Sports content, a producer in me is I need to track this to see how
I want to say this right
is.
now too. Listen, we have a great stretch of 24 games or whatever in the rear view. We'll take that stretch of 24 anytime. if you want to talk about making the playoffs, you want to talk about securing your spot, low key, these next 100 hours are huge.
Yeah.
You have 3 games. You got Lightning, Panthers, and then Penguins at home. Penguins at home is right now a $70 get-in ticket for a weekday, which is pretty rare. So that should be a bustling arena on Thursday. But what do you think, Don? You need 4 or 6 points here to kind of hold serve on where you're at?
I think 4 for sure. I think Panthers should be a dub, take care of business. Panthers should be, Penguins should be a dub, take care of business. I'm struggling with my words right now.
Weekend right now, or we're coming out of the weekend.
Yeah, and then I don't know, Tampa Bay, and I'll talk about this if we have time a little bit. They kind of really escaped with a lucky ducky
5-1.
win.
What the hell happened
last night? So, and I watched the whole game. It was Stadium Series, and I'll get into this more later. But they didn't look good at all, and it was really Bruins shooting themselves, but just in the foot, but in the kneecap and then in the shoulder and practically in the head by the end of the second period.
Before the game, there was someone on Polymarket that put like $150,000 on the Bruins.
No, it's unbelievable.
And Polymarket was like, "Oh, what do they know that we don't?" Apparently, they knew something at the beginning, but it didn't end up working out.
Lightning was like out the night before.
Anytime you see those graphics, man, even we've seen them with the Bills.
Fade material.
I hate to say it.
I wanted to fade, and then I saw the initial score and was like, "Oh, maybe he was right." And then I looked this morning, and you probably should have sold that Bruins market, buddy.
Big night for Polymarket last night with the Grammys shout out as well from the hosts. So that was interesting there. Grammys recap. Yeah, Trevor Noah gave him a shout out. He said the word potato, and he goes, "Can you believe I just said potato? Someone just had a huge bet on Polymarket for $20,000."
The real one that hit that bet.
Username TNoah22. So he literally made an insider trading like Polymarket joke on CBS.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is low-key crazy for sure. But hey, listen, Polymarket's where you do your trading. Clearly, it seems like everyone's trying to get into that business. Polymarket was way ahead of it. Looking at the rest of the weekend and weekend ahead, we had the Aussie Open wrap-up, obviously. Rybakina gets the upset over Sabalenka, and Alcaraz shines again. Anything we really need to touch on here, Slick? I feel like that was kind of ho-hum ending to the second week of the Australian Open. I saw that the favorites, like there wasn't anything longer than a 4-set match.
Yeah, I think down the stretch, obviously we knew the field dwindled to what it was going to be. The real story is Sabalenka not being able to get it done. But congrats to Rybakina. Sabalenka the whole way pretty much had the chalkiest odds by far. And I think even once we got to the quarterfinals was down to -125. So huge upset in the championship. Love to see it.
We got a hot start to the season for Justin Rose. He pulls away and wins there. So we got the golf season is just starting to pick up. We'll have the Masters is about 8-9 weeks away. So it'll be interesting. A little bit more, 8 or 9 weeks away there. But with that said, Justin Rose heating up. Looks like we can check out who else is heating up. It's time for Who's Hot and Who's Not, sponsored by Salino Plumbing, HVAC, and Electric. Who's Hot and Who's Not, brought to you by our friends at Salino. With that said, hot kittens. What a weekend. We had double-digit kittens adopted from the Kitten Bowl 2026. Great broadcast from Don, Brett, and our team here at Herd of Buffalo as well. The screen behind us, the big screen, was a game changer.
That was pretty sweet.
Game changer.
It was on a bit of a delay because I think they put the live stream up that they were watching. It wasn't a direct monitor.
Yes, it wasn't our feed. It was the live stream.
That was looking up and seeing our mugs, 10x on that huge screen. Pretty funny.
I was like, I got to get a better skincare regimen for sure.
I got to make sure my nose is blown.
But speaking of the amazing families we had come out for the Kitten Bowls, seems like family values in sports are done. Did you see the scuttlebutt about the fired Minnesota Vikings general manager?
No.
I missed this. Flew under the radar.
Yeah, totally.
So a lot of people were saying it was stunning when he was fired. He just got like a extension. I think it was.
Oh, I know where this is going. I think
like 8 months ago. And the top story that comes out about this guy and any potential issues: paternity leave scrutinized after surprise firing. According to The Athletic, Adolfo Mensa's use of a 2-week paternity leave after the birth of his child in 2023. This was 3 years ago.
What the hell?
Left some NFL executives and coaches in quote unquote disbelief. Now listen,
2 weeks?
Joe Brady kind of famously shouted out his wife in his speech last week because she gave birth while he was in the middle of a game. That I get. There's a week of planning going into something that's happening right at that point. You need to be there for it. I don't know specifically when this paternity leave was, but it seems like it wasn't in the middle of the season. It wasn't at a time when there was actually going to be like general manager decisions being made at that window. I don't know. It just seems like maybe we should be okay with people going to hang out with their kids' birth for like a week or two if something crazy important isn't happening in the world of sports.
2 weeks is messed up, man. And in Australia, you'll get each member of the couple will get like 2 months paternity.
I mean, the whole system here is a little off for sure.
About that is ridiculous.
Disbelief is the word that was used.
Disbelief that you had
values in the NFL, not where you go for those.
Just unreal.
No, nope. Yeah.
Poor guy.
All right. Well, I'll remember that. I won't apply for a GM spot.
Yeah, just remember, if you want to work in the NFL, you're just not allowed to be there when your kid's born.
Yeah.
The family values graphic. Shout out production on that.
Straight from Goodell's desk.
Amazing. I will go next. My hot kind of alluded earlier in the show and the wrestling of it all. Sol Ruka and Lash Legend stealing the show at the Women's Royal Rumble. Lash Legend looking like the next Rhea Ripley. Sol Ruka continues to blow our minds every time she steps in the ring. A double soul snatcher during the last 4 women in the Rumble Maniac. What are we thinking?
Didn't she hit a double soul snatcher with 3 left?
Yes, you're right. It was.
I'm just saying, like that was everyone's
remaining field.
It was an amazing performance. We were looking for things, like we said, the women. The future of the women really shined in this match, and I think that's the contrast with the men's match. But shout out Sol and Lash Legend, great performances. I mean, Lash Legend has some of the memeiest Royal Rumble eliminations I've ever seen.
I think she tied with Charlotte Flair in that Rumble for the most eliminations. Well done, ladies. Hot performance for sure. Who's not? This might surprise you guys. Yay. You know, he came out, he did his whole, I was wrong, I apologize, I want to get back to my roots with the black community. I was like, this feels strange. Does he have an album coming out? You said no.
You did ask about the album last week.
The answer was yes. 5-track EP dropped yesterday. This feels like terrible PR before the week before. You want good publicity so that your album does well. Also weird to note on this album, I looked it up on Apple Music, says it released on March 30th of 2026. Today's currently February 2nd. I don't know.
In the future.
I don't know if on the 30th of March there's going to be like 15 songs added, but now it's 5. And shame on you, Ye. Shame on you. I will not be listening is all I'm saying.
Is our guy Dave Blunt's involved in this at all?
I'm assuming not, because as we know, there was grooming allegations from Dave Blunt.
Oh no, I missed that.
Oh, you missed that?
Jeez. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
I did.
To be honest, though, there was nothing Dave Blunt was saying in that interview that was making any sense. So it's hard to be like, well, yeah, he said this, which we're going to give like 100% like legitimacy to. But he's also saying that like everyone liked that one song, even though they didn't admit it. Like,
Yeah.
no, that wasn't the case, Dave Blunt. Like everyone hated that song.
I'm pretty sure with the allegations, he dropped them like in a song. Like he said, like Kanye.
Okay, see, like that's even worse than Ye.
I'm pretty sure he said like Kanye. I'm pretty sure he said like Kanye diddled me in one of his songs or something.
Okay.
Coming from the guy that wrote "My Cousin Gave Me a Head." Okay, great.
Oh,
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So for my hot, the NHL, actually, the Stadium Series game last night, it had it all.
Entertaining.
It was super entertaining. They had, Boston players. They come arriving at the stadium in American Revolutionary outfits. Tampa Bay players as Pirates. You got PK Subban and the whole intermission team on vacation dressed as Pirates. You got and then the halftime show.
By the way, the Bruins did it. The Bruins went with the soldiers that we looked up to at the start of the country. And then the Lightning went with the soldiers that we look up to now at this state in the country, football players.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got Tim McGraw with an awesome intermission performance that Haley was digging. I like Tim McGraw. It was cool. Also, it was 40 degrees in Tampa. So it's like, okay, this feels like some hockey weather.
They had to heat up the rink?
Yeah. Apparently it was too cold where the ice was going to crack. So they had to actually heat under the ice as well. And then the game itself, I mean, awesome jerseys. I love Tampa Bay's jerseys too. Go down 5-1. Second period gets crazy with the Bruins taking like 4 or 5 penalties back to back to back to back. One of them from their goalie. He gets mugged, doesn't like it, mugs the other guy, knocks his helmet off. Vasilevsky comes down and says, "Here we go." You get a goalie fight, and then at the end of the game, when they shake hands, they're patting each other on the chest, laughing about it. Nothing is more hockey than
just
that.
Doing business. Just classic doing some business. Like to see that. Very, very hot of them.
Yeah, and then it ended in a shootout, and Bolts win. But so who's not? It's actually me at my score bug abilities at the Kitten Bowl. Listen, I was getting it from fans. I was getting it from organizers. I had kids coming over saying, the score's wrong. And I'm like, I'm getting to it. There's been 3 touchdowns scored in 30 seconds.
Can I tell you why you ended up as a not and not a hot? You demonstrated value. You showed that you were the guy who was making things happen. Slick and I were clueless. They knew not to ask us to do something. They knew not to. So we were just hot boys just chugging along. You were, every time a raffle was getting talked about, every time a play was getting talked about, they were funneling it just to Don. I'm watching poor Don try to get this score bug updated. These cats are scoring so quickly that my man can't even get a 5-second grace period on the news scores. So shout out to Don. I wouldn't say you were a full knot, but I understand why you made it.
Well, in the notes, it's actually my Dreamboat score bug trying to keep up. So
okay,
it's not
fair.
me,
that's fair. That's
so
it's fair.
More of the score bug. We're going to work on it on a way I can get this updated live quicker. But I mean, in any other normal sport, you normally have, especially with the broadcast delay, 20 seconds to change it, which is all I needed. Is 20 seconds too much sometimes.
20 seconds too much. These kittens were scoring relentlessly. And it got to the point, Maniac, where we had to say on the PA, our guy is working his ass off in real time to get these numbers crunched.
I couldn't believe it. People were like they could
remind them like 3 times.
It was, listen, I respect the general public. I do. But it was just very funny that like people were there and could see that the goal only happened, or like the touchdown only happened like 8 seconds ago in real time. And they couldn't understand why Don didn't have the score.
It was a double delay too, because then the feed was
it takes a second
extra
for it
delay.
to update, yeah.
So I certain people. It looked like I was really dropping the ball. But that's been our who's hot.
We may have to do some honorary knot real quick here to put a button on.
Okay, honorary knot.
I mean, do we dare dabble into the sports of the certain list?
Yeah, sure.
So it looked like we had some owners that were mentioned on a specific list that was released on Friday. Some blurbs, very not good for them. Did you see Russell Wilson and the Jet?
No,
I did. I saw that. Yeah. I mean,
you saw what he tweeted.
Oh no.
So Russell Wilson saw it, said, "Not today, Satan." Never talked to him. My agent talked to one guy about buying a jet. One of the more vocal rebukes of the listing that happened, but just an absolutely was it the Giants partial owner who was, I don't want to allegedly name the wrong person, who had to release the statement at like Friday at midnight?
I think it was the Giants owner. Yeah.
Here, let me look.
I think you're right.
Giants co-owner Steve Tisch.
Yeah, Steve Tisch. So again, it throws me off because I wasn't aware of the co-owners. This guy had to release, he basically released, have you ever seen the Always Sunny episode where Frank says that he wasn't on the island?
Yeah.
He was like, I was there for the jet skiing, we had a great time, I wasn't doing any of those.
Yeah.
That's basically exactly what he said. He's like, I was taking advantage of the fine accommodations, allegedly, all this stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, just crazy that this list kind of dropped like a nuke in the sports world over this weekend.
And then too, there's the whole, I don't want to read it. You'll have to look it up for yourself. But the emails with Bill Gates.
Oh, well, then you're getting into that all. Yeah, for sure.
Him getting banned from Xbox Live.
Can we touch on that real quick? Because I just want to say to get banned from Xbox Live in 2013. It honestly is kind of impressive.
You have to be so egregiously over the top.
Well, people are thinking it was Bill Gates, taking retaliation.
Yes,
being we're not allowed.
He went to attack and he just said ban him from Xbox Live. Yeah. So anyone on the list, sports wise, are on the knot of who's hot and who's not. Brought to you by Salino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Alrighty, it is Super Bowl week at all costs, and I'm going to lay this out right now. We got a great 2 Florida games for the Sabres in the next 36 hours. We got all eyes on those. I cannot have Drake May win the Super Bowl. I just can't. I can't have Stephon Diggs win the Super Bowl. I can't have Mike Vrabel win the Super Bowl. I can't have Cardi B win the Super Bowl. I just can't have him do it.
Yeah, I'm going to be really rooting for the outcome we all want. But should we tease where we're gonna be for the game?
Yeah, fire away.
Yeah, so folks, we got one of our favorite spots to do a live stream show. We're gonna be at Sports City for a little pre-show action, and that'll be great. I was getting ready to make a big bowl punch that was gonna get me responsibly in a mood where I might not remember this game if things go sideways.
Punch. You can still make it.
Yeah, just go drink it in the parking lot.
Yes,
I'm sure Rizzo would love that. But yeah, hit us up, come through, or tune in at home.
Niagara Street.
Oh yeah,
come to 1407 Niagara Street for the Super Bowl. I will be crashing out big time if the Patriots have success. If Sam Darnold's seeing ghosts again. Don, with that said, obviously we had a little hiccup on Saturday night, but not much crashing out going on since Brady and co steadied the ship middle of last week.
No, I was hoping maybe I would get a call about Brady and Bean showing up to a Sabres game and the Sabres losing and maybe the vibes aren't as good. But no, the lines have been bare. I think people are, I think I'm also surprised because of the DC signing. We got some guys coming in, but I think the freak out is chilling out. But hey, whether you're a Sabres fan, Bandits fan, Bills fan, maybe you're a fan of ours and we've been dropping the ball. Maybe you want to get at me for the score bug. Maybe you want to tell Slick to man up and stop being sick and staying at home. I don't know. Whatever it is, give us a call at 716-226-6263. You're going to have to leave a voicemail or text. You'll be on the show.
How do we feel about Wednesday's show? I have to drink a whole thing of pickle juice before it's over.
Why?
Is that bad?
Is that bad or good?
Well, vinegar is good for your digestive system.
It's bad. People don't like pickle juice, do they?
I love pickle juice.
I still owe a punishment. I got to make it happen. I'm trying to make it happen.
Okay, well, if you don't like it, but okay. A jar is a lot, but I'll say this: when I'm drinking, I love doing pickleback shots.
A little pickleback with a shot. You're right. That's a whole different world. I'm talking about. I'm thinking that could be potentially our punishment to get out day. And I would like to come up with something where if Drake May throws a pick six, I hit like a jackpot at Sports City.
I don't know if I should tell you this
Uh-oh.
The friend in me wants to, but then the content and
It's like 6
says I
times
should.
the sodium to like kill yourself.
No, it's not that bad.
Lethal dose.
That
Sorry.
much vinegar though can run right through you as a diuretic, and so if you're drinking a whole jar of pickle juice, you might want to wear a diaper.
That's fair. See, so I can also pee myself on the show. You don't think that's a good punishment?
I'm not talking about peeing yourself.
Oh no!
Well, if that's the case, maybe
I might have to punch you in the face.
Oh no! Please, guys, like just we're 30 minutes into the show, guys. Just punch me in the face.
I mean, if that happens, not a great way to welcome in our new studio either. Too much. So.
All right, so pickle juice at the new studio on Wednesday potentially. We can see for a punishment. Huge week ahead. Again, we got 2 Sabres games. We got a lot ahead. We didn't get into the Bandits much. They got absolutely shellacked in Colorado, so we're just going to act like that didn't happen and kind of bounce back and hopefully get things going with the right juju in the right direction. But again, Sports City for the Super Bowl on Sunday. Check out the Kitten Bowl from yesterday. Check out Dominik Hasek, always the goalie. Huge shout out to our guest, Michelle GIRARDI ZUMWALT, for stopping by. Pretty awesome. What do you got?
And we have a little spot for our guy, a little teaser.
Whoa, we have a
Super
teaser
Bowl.
for the crew. Why don't we send them a teaser? And I think sending this teaser is a way to guarantee that they have a start to their good day now.
What scares William Matar the most? Find out the full story February 8th during the big game. Hurt in a car? Only call William Matar. 444-4444.